Okay, welcome back to automation series. So today we'll be doing an electro-pneumatic circuits, right? So again, I am in fluidsim-p. Create a new file. So I will be doing the same sequence which we have done earlier in my previous video. Okay, so sequence was a plus b plus a minus b minus. So again, a plus b plus I have taken in group 1, a minus b minus I have taken in group 2. So in previous lecture only we have seen how to decide the number of groups and where to put this slash to separate the groups over here. So the difference between last lecture and this lecture is in last lecture we use pressure lines, that is pressure line 1 and pressure line 2, to actuate the pistons of cylinder A and cylinder B. But in electro-pneumatic we'll be creating an electrical circuit which will actuate the pistons over here. Okay, so I will take a double acting cylinders over here. So I'll just zoom in a bit. So there are two double acting cylinders. I want to control this double acting cylinder, so I'll need two 5x2 DCVs. So I'll take one over here, one over here. So in last video we have connected this 5x2 DCVs with the cylinders in a similar way. So now here instead of limit switches we will be using the electrically actuated switches. Okay, so here I have changed the symbols here. Also for this 5x2 I will just change the symbols. Now I'll just name them. Suppose this is Y1 switch, this is Y2, and so on. This will be Y3 and this will be Y4. Also I will need some distance rule over here on both sides. The initial position of the piston is like A0 and beginning and end will be 0. Then extended position of piston A will be A1, 100 and 100. Similarly for cylinder B over here we'll be having B0 and B1. Okay, so this is the initial circuit. Of course we'll need exhaust for port number 3 and 5. So I'll give some exhaust over here. And to port number 1 we need an air supply. So I'll take a compressor. The air from the compressor will come to FRL unit, which is filter, regulator and lubricator, and then it will go to the 5x2 DCV. The same configuration will be over here on this side for cylinder B. So compressor, the air from the compressor will go to FRL unit, and after cleaning the air it will go to the 5x2 DC. Now until this part it was similar to pneumatic circuits, only the difference was here the limit switches were given and this time electrical switches are given. Now I want to make an electronic circuits or electrical circuit. So if we go down over here, we'll be seeing the power supplies. So I'll take two power supplies, 0 volt and 24 volt. Okay. Same thing on other side. Just move it a bit down. So you can move the circuits up and down. Just select it and move them wherever you want. Okay. So this is 0 volt, this is 24 volt. On other side also, you have to take this. Now you have to rotate. Select this and right click, rotate 180, and then you can connect these 2 points. Similarly, you'll be having a 24 volt. Select, rotate and connect. Okay. Now thing is key, there are two groups, right? A plus B plus and A minus B minus. So first group I'll be controlling by one relay, which will be K1, and another group I will be controlling with another relay, which is K2. So if you go below, you can see relays over here. So I'll take one relay and I will call it as K1, and I'll take another relay and I will call it as K2. Okay, so I'll just connect the circuits like this for timing. Of course, I will be adding some another break switch, make switch, and all those things in the electrical line over here, but for timing I am just connecting for simplifying the circuit. Okay, now like I told you, with this relay K1 I'll be controlling group 1. Group 1 means A plus and B plus. So here this piston will move to the right, that is A plus, which will be controlled by Y1. Okay, so for that I'll be taking a solenoid valve and I'll name it as Y1. So that means Y1, when it will get actuated, the left envelope of this 5x2 valve come into picture and the piston will shift to the right, which is A plus. And again, like I told you, I am controlling this group 1 with the help of relay K1. So I will add a make switch whose address will be similar to the relay K1. Okay. So I'll just connect it. Okay. So Y1 will move this piston to the right, which is A plus. So if A plus is done, then B plus. Again, it is in group 1. So I will be using relay K1. Similar kind of circuit will be there. K1 and Y3. Y3 why? Because it will control the extension of the piston in cylinder B. Okay, because Y3 when it will get actuated, this 5x2 valve will shift to the right and this cylinder will again shift to the right, performing B plus. Okay. Now should I directly connect K1 and Y3? No, because if I directly connect K1 and Y3, so Y1 and Y3 both will be actuated when K1 switch will get closed. That means both the pistons will move at the same time. But as we have seen earlier, uh, Similar case in the previous video of pneumatics, after A plus B plus will happen. That means I will need another switch over here, whose address will be A1, because A plus will happen, then A1 switch will get hit, and after that B plus will happen. So you can add A1 in between K1 and Y3 over here, will get connected. Next, K2. So for group 2, I will be using relay K2. So A minus B minus के लिए I will be using K2. So A minus will happen with the help of Y2 and B minus will happen with the help of Y4. So both these solenoid walls, which will be like Y2 and Y4, will be connected to K2. So I'll just connect it with K2. Now if I do this, what will happen? Again the same story, कि if K2 gets actuated, both Y2 and Y4 are getting actuated. तो अगर दोनों actuate हो गया, then B minus A minus will be at the same time. So instead of that, we want A minus. So piston A will retract and then piston B will retract. So पहले K2 actuate हुआ, then Y2 will get actuated. This will shift to the left and piston will move back to A0. After A0, Y4 should activate. So here I'll put another switch similar to this line, similar to line number 4, but the address will be now A0. But the address will be now A0. Okay. So this is done. Now if I run this, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. Lines through connections. So एक के ऊपर एक line आया रहेगा. So I'll just move this up, delete this line, and then connect it. Okay. Now there is no error, but the circuit is not working. So again, if I want to start the circuit, I want a push button. Okay. So I will just delete this and add one push button over here. So now let's see what will happen. Even if there is a push button, if I push this, circuit is not working. Why? Because K1 and K2, so I will just change this to detained push button so that we can understand better. So now what is happening over here, when I push this button, both K1 and K2 are actuated. अगर दोनों actuated है तो Y1 और Y2 भी दोनों actuated है. So दोनों साइड से अगर सेम फोर्स लग रहा है, पिस्टन हिलेगा नहीं. So piston will not move in that case, right? So we have to change something in this K1 and K2, line number 1 and 2. So you have studied latching. So first I will latch K1. First I will latch K1. Okay, like this. And now ग्रुप चेंज कब हो रहा है? आफ्टर बी प्लस, मीन्स आफ्टर बी प्लस K2 will get actuated. So after B plus, that means I will delete that and add one switch whose address should be B plus. अभी B plus मतलब the piston will move ahead, so extended position will be B1. तो यहाँ पे आ जाएगा B1. Okay, now let's see what is happens over here. Okay, again lines through connections. I'll move it up, delete this line and connect it again. If I push this, so A plus B plus is happening, but it is not coming back. Why? Because you can see over here, after A plus B plus, both K1 and K2 are actuated. So मतलब Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4 सब actuate हो गया है. So that is why this piston will not move, this piston will not move. So I need a logic where K1 अगर चालू है, K1 के लाइन में करंट है, तो K2 के लाइन में करंट नहीं चाहिए रहेगा. So I'll need a brake switch. So here I will break the circuit. So instead of make switch, I will take a brake switch because I want to break the circuit. When K2 will get actuated. Okay, K2 एक्चुएट हुआ, K1 बंद हो गया. ठीक है, नाउ लेट्स सी. ओके, सुपर इम्पोज कंपोनेंट्स मतलब एक के ऊपर एक कंपोनेंट आ गया है. अगेन आई विल डिलीट. And attach again. Okay, now if I run this, let's see what happens. So A plus B plus, again the circuit is breaking over here, latching is breaking, but the current will go through this line. So now what will I do? I will just delete this and put a simple push button. So now let's see, A plus, B plus, A minus and B minus. Okay, so the circuit is ready. So if I push this button, A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. Now to add further safety, or you can say another form, यहाँ पे we have given key, latching for K1. Okay, similarly you can do for K2. So you can take a make switch, put it as K2. You can take a brake switch, क्योंकि जब भी K2 चालू है तभी, सॉरी जब भी K1 चालू है तभी K2 बंद होना चाहिए. So take a brake switch which is K1. Similar to over here. So K1 को लैच करने के लिए K1 make switch, K2 brake switch. तो K2 को लैच करने के लिए K2 make switch and K1 brake switch. इसको थोड़ा नीचे ले लेंगे and then I'll just connect it over here. ठीक है. ओके, लाइन्स थ्रू कनेक्शंस, कनेक्शन में से लाइन जा रहा है, so I'll just delete it, connect it again and just push this button. So A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus will happen. Okay, so that is electro-pneumatic circuit. Now suppose I want A plus and B plus simultaneously. What will I do? I'll just delete this and connect these two in parallel. So now you can see you get a new sequence which is AB plus. That means A and B will move simultaneously. So AB plus will happen when I push this button. So AB plus, A minus, B minus. Okay. So you can play with these circuits and you can take the new sequence. So you can see these two, line number 1, 2, 3, 4 are common, right? The only thing is changing over here, line number 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if I want this sequence, A plus, B plus, B minus, A minus, right? So what will I do? I will connect this as it was before. So there was a make switch, I think, right? And sorry, make switch, make switch, not a break switch. So two break switches were there. One was K1 because group 1 I am controlling with K1, and after A plus B plus will happen. So after A plus means A1. So A1 was there. Okay. So like these were the connections. Now I want this sequence to run, which is A plus B plus B minus A minus. So A plus B plus group 1 means K1. So it is similar. Then for group 2 it is now B minus A minus. Okay. So for group 2 first B minus will happen. That means Y4 will get actuated. So first Y4 will get actuated, and then when Y4 gets actuated, 5 by 2 will move to the left, the piston will move to the left, and B0 gets actuated. So instead of A0 over here, I should write B0, and last operation was A minus. A minus means Y2. So Y2 will get shifted to the left, piston A will move to the left. So instead of Y4, it should be Y2. Now let's see the sequence. So A plus, B plus, B minus, A minus. Okay. So in that way, you can just play through, get new sequences. Okay. The structure is almost same. The only change will be the addresses. Okay. Where should be Y4, where should be Y3, where should be Y1, and A0, A1, B0, B1. Okay. So that's all from my side about electro-pneumatic circuits.